Realtors, I'm gonna break down how I saved over $50,000 in 1 year thanks to my healthcare and how you can too. This is gonna help you save so much money, hundreds of dollars every single month, if not way more. Again, up to $50,000+, if not way more than that every year as well. What's going on, kings and queens? My name is Jordan Super. I'm gonna break down how eXp Healthcare had totally changed the game for us. This is actually an exclusive mastermind I never let people see unless you're part of our circle. If you want to learn more, click down below for a free call. But this is a super special call with Margot, who breaks down how eXp Healthcare gave us the opportunity for us to save $50K a year. I know. Said it 3 times because it's that powerful. I want to have you see the sneak peek though, this whole interview yourself to see why, one, eXp is the fastest growing brokerage ever to exist, and two, how this health can help you and your family save more money, have more peace of mind, and have better coverage anywhere you are inside of America. Without further ado, let's get into it. See you soon. Boom. What's going on, World Circle? Thank you all for being here. You're in for a super special treat. We have Margot Wickersham here, who's a complete powerhouse, really changing the whole industry, especially in healthcare. She's one of the reps for Clearwaters Healthcare and eXp. And as you guys know our story, we saved over $50,000 this year alone, thanks to this healthcare, thanks to what Margot's doing as well. So for a super special treat, she's going to break down the big benefits and how to use the agent attraction as well. Margot, thanks for being here.
It's absolutely my pleasure. I love you and Melanie so much, and I'm so fortunate to have gotten to meet you now a couple times. We've met in Austin, we've met in Vegas, and I'll see you again in Austin. And there's nothing like meeting people. It's better when you have a voice. It's better when you have a voice and a face. So Zoom is great. I love seeing Ajon and Audrey and all these happy faces. It's great to see you here. You guys can find me on Workplace, by the way. I am there. And what I want to do is say you could not have picked a better team to work with. These guys are professionals and their story is amazing. Not only their story of how they're growing this business and helping other people, but also their healthcare story. Nobody wants to have a healthcare story. You don't. I have one, they have one, and I use you guys as a poster child, you guys, Melanie and Jordan, because a lot of people in their 20s, we don't think things are going to go wrong. We're healthy, we're not falling apart yet, right? Like people in the 50s, we're falling apart. As I like to say, in the 40s, the warranty runs out. In the 50s, the extended warranty runs out. Now you're in trouble. But your options are you can keep going or you can give up. We don't give up. And I think it's amazing that Melanie and Jordan can share with you guys their story of, okay, we know we need to have something. And they got on it. They didn't put it on the back burner and say one day, yeah, we'll need to get to that. They did it. And most people don't because it's boring. It doesn't seem urgent until you're sick. That is not the time to get a plan. The time to get a plan is right now, have it in place so that then that is not a worry. That removes that stress off your plate, set it and forget it. So I want to encourage you guys to, if you have not already, I'm going to drop a link or two, share some goodies with you to check out. You have your own dedicated website, eXp, and they just a few moments before we popped into this call, they just upgraded the site and it's pretty slick. I'm really happy with it. If it glitches you a little bit, just be patient. They're working on it. But go to that website. That's your go-to source for all things to do with your agent healthcare options. I'm going to lead you through what this means, what the value is to you, and how to use it to attract agents. So you guys ready to do that? Does that sound good? Let's do it.
Most definitely.
All right. Well, there's a picture of me, and as you can see, my hair is growing out. It's officially, I don't know what's happening. Every day is an adventure, and I'm fine with that because a few months ago I was bald. That is a hard look to rock, let me tell you, as a woman in her 50s. Woo. So I am cancer-free now. I won't bury the lead. I will just say I had a battle with cancer last year. It was terrible. And cancer and COVID are not a lovely combination, because that meant I had to go to the hospital all the time by myself. I never had anybody that could go with me. It's miserable. And I ended up, because I'm on one of our plans, that saved my life. So I'm going to share with you before I jump in. What happened was I got a cancer diagnosis in 2020. I got a second opinion because our plans include a second opinion, not because I knew anything about cancer. Why would you learn about cancer if you don't need to? And I got the second opinion and they said, yeah, well, your Austin doctor missed the second form of cancer. You have two. And I thought, that's just like me to overachieve as a cancer patient. So I had these two kinds. And what was interesting was, if I had not gotten that second opinion and found the second kind, I wouldn't be here, because treatment of the first kind would have worked for the first kind, wouldn't have done a thing for the second kind. Second kind, fatal. Second kind always comes back. The numbers for the second kind are not good. When I look up what are the survival rates, they're terrible. But they rarely catch it because it's asymptomatic. And I can thank my little body for having two kinds and giving me a symptom. I can thank my plan for giving me a second opinion. They gave me a second lease on life. And a plan that also, it did all of that. I got all that treatment. I got to go to the best doctors. That makes the difference. And I'm not out $1 bazillion. I'm only out $1,000. But I would have mortgaged everything, obviously, to save my life. I've got 20-year-old kids and I need to be here. So that's what a good plan can do for you. A good plan like Melanie and Jordan have, when she thought, well, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I do all the right things. And then your appendicitis just says, no, today you're having an emergency appendectomy, ready or not. And I remember, Melanie, you sharing your story about how you thought, they're probably not going to cover this. I haven't been on the plan very long. And we're used to thinking that way, right? We're used to thinking the plan is not going to be there for me. I describe it, it's almost like we're like in an abusive relationship with health insurance. We're just used to being treated poorly, right? We're like, okay. And she was delighted when, in fact, she paid her deductible and the plan covered the rest. What a relief. Such a relief to know that you don't have to worry about these things. So that said, I'm going to share with you what this looks like. 2 years ago, eXp inked a deal with us, Clearwater Benefits. We are the provider of eXp Agent Healthcare to eXp agents in the US. And we have had an amazing experience so far. We just continue working together. Our companies are beautifully blended culturally. We're both technology forward. We're both service driven, service led. We're both virtual, always have been. So we work really beautifully together. We're both very collaborative. What we do is set out to accomplish 3 goals. One is to reduce your monthly expense. So what we want to do is reduce your premium as much as possible. Sometimes we can do it, sometimes we can't, but we want to keep it down as low as possible. The second thing we want to do is upgrade access to doctors and providers so that you're not limited to a little short list that somebody in a cubicle decides is who you can go see. And the third thing we want to do is reduce your out-of-pocket expenses. Now, we don't typically think of this as a big risk, but this is at the base of the high rate of, bankruptcies that are caused by medical bills. 66% of bankruptcies are caused by medical bills. That's ugly. That's really, really bad. And of those, 60% had health insurance. So not cool, health insurance world. So we want to reduce that as well. That is where the expenses really come in. And there's a lot of gotchas. There's a lot of places where even when you have health insurance, an example would be, let's say Melanie had been on a traditional Blue Cross plan, let's say, and she went to the emergency room because that's what you do. What if that hospital wasn't in network? She'd have been on the hook for all of the $50,000, $55,000. Well, what if the hospital was in network, but anesthesiologist and surgical assistant were not? She'd be on the hook to pay them whatever they feel like charging. And that does not go towards your deductible. None of that goes towards your out-of-pocket max. So you're so much more exposed than you think you are because of the way insurance is set up. Now, that's bad news. And what I want to share with you is we're here to help make it good news, and information and having somebody on your side is the way to get through this. So that's what I mean by reducing out-of-pocket risk. We want to reduce that. It's a risk you probably didn't know you had, but it is a big one. How do we do that? Well, we have a lot of different resources that we make available to you. So think of us as subject matter experts in all things health insurance. And that may sound super boring to you. I get it. It was super boring to me. If you said 20 years ago, Margot, one day you're going to love working for a company that's selling health insurance to agents, I would have thought, "Put, I don't think so, boring." But it is so interesting because it's such a big pain point and we're solving such a big problem. So we've all become subject matter experts in healthcare plans. They vary by state. You have to know all the different state rules. It varies by age, by zip code. There's so many different things to know. And then if any of you have ever shopped for health insurance, you know the terms can be confusing. You can look at the terms and go, well, I know what the word means. I know what co-insurance means, but what does it mean in this environment? So there's a lot of words that are, you know what they mean, but they have a different meaning within the health insurance world. And you're like, how do I don't even know where to start. And so then people tend to just shove it aside because it's overwhelming, confusing, and also boring. But it's also really important. So we're subject matter experts. We want to make ourselves and our resources available to you. The website that I dropped the link in there is the best place to start. And there's webinars, there's a really cool tool they just launched literally 20 minutes ago that you can click on our CEO's little face. He's talking in a little bubble at the bottom of the page. You can click on that and it has an interactive video where you make multiple choices, selections, and then it'll help you kind of narrow down which plans make the most sense for you. And then you can book a call with one of the consultants. So it's pretty cool. Check it out. So we push all that information to you and we love doing that. And then we've got a lot of support before, during, and after. And that is not something that's available to everybody. So I feel really good about that. And the way we have a lot of plans available to help you with is that we've got a wide variety. So we have what we think of, we just call them the Clearwater plans. These are the ones we've created. They are the best at saving money. They are the best at providing access to a lot of different doctors and hospitals. And they do the best job of reducing that out-of-pocket risk. But of course, turns out we're unique. No one size fits all. So we do also have access to traditional major medical plans like Blue Cross, like Aetna, like Cigna, because sometimes that's the best fit. It just depends on what's going on, what your healthcare reality is, where you live, what you prefer, a lot of different variables. And then we have another category of plans. These are called supplementals. They are voluntary. You can add none of these, some of these, one, all, it's up to you. We have them available. So they are dental and they are vision. You've also got access to life insurance. And if you've heard or seen the Aflac commercials, those plans that pay you a lump sum when something happens, like I wish I'd had when I got a cancer diagnosis, but I didn't. You can get a critical illness policy writer. It doesn't cost very much. I wish I'd gotten it, but I didn't. So do as I say, not as I do. And I would have had a lump sum payment, which would help with your deductible. It would help with the extra costs you have once you have to start going back and forth to hospitals and all of that. So there's all kinds of options for you to consider. And I do encourage you to check them out. It doesn't cost much to get those. Oh no, I'm going backwards now. How about we go forwards? Let's go forward. All right, there we go. You might be curious what most people end up choosing. You know, what is it they say that social proof is just so strong, understanding what other people have chosen when they've been in a similar boat. So I want to share this with you, and that is that about 85% of eXp agents do choose one of the Clearwater plans. And that's a category of plans. There's options within those. And about 10% of eXp agents choose one of the major medical plans like Blue Cross or Cigna. In about 5% of the cases, when we are talking with eXp agents, we'll say, you know what, you're actually already on the best plan. So if we were you, we would say, stay right there and let us know if things change. So that might be if you're in the middle of a healthcare event right now. Let's say you just got diagnosed with lupus and you're going to need treatment and various things. this would be a good time for us to look at traditional healthcare plans that don't have any limitations on pre-existing conditions. We're agnostic. We don't care which plan is the right one for you. Our commitment is to get you on the best plan for you, whether we help you enroll or not. Why do we do that? Because of our invested relationship with eXp. It's completely enlightened self-interest. We help you, you help us, we all benefit. So I'm very proud of our reputation for, a lot of people have shared with leadership that that's an experience they've had. I'm on a plan through my spouse and we've been on it for 32 years. And I don't know if it's the best one or not. We just re-enroll every year. But I had a talk with one of the consultants and they said, actually, that is the best plan for you. And we recommend you stay right there. So looking at all that, you might be thinking, well, what's the big announcement? How does it get better than that? I don't know if you guys were at eXpCon, and if you were, if you saw Jason Guessing talk with Glenn at the general session, but he did make some pretty big announcements that I'm going to talk with you about here. And that is that as of January 1st, 2022, which is amazingly in a month, wow. If you're enrolled on a Clearwater plan, or you enroll in a Clearwater plan as of that date or after, you're going to have access to almost any doctor in the US, almost any hospital in the US. And that is unheard of. I know of no other plan that offers that kind of breadth of access to doctors and hospitals. And this is great because are they all created equally? They are not. We just saw in my example how my Austin doctors, who had a good reputation, did not see the whole picture, which would have cost me my life if I hadn't gone to doctors in a hospital that had seen more of the kind of cancer that I had. So it's really important. I love that this is the case. No more hassles with looking up doctors on a network website, and they're on there and they're listed as taking new patients, and you call them and then they go, no, we're not on there anymore. We used to be. That kind of headache is pervasive across all, all insurance plans. So that just goes away. Yay. Yay for getting rid of stress. So that's really phenomenal. It is. The second big announcement is that we're taking our concierge support level to a whole nother level. And already we've got great support. You can visit with our support team by chat, email, phone. And now what's going to happen is that instead of looking at your card and thinking, do I call Teladoc, or do I have an app that I download, or do I just go to the hospital? I don't know how to do this. We're sort of never sure how to work it. And you don't have to know how to work it. You have to know one thing: call the concierge team. And you tell them what you need to do, unless it's an emergency. In an emergency, by all means, save your life. Go do that, and then we'll work it out later. But if you are thinking, I've got a sore throat, I can't taste food anymore, is this the dreaded COVID? What do I do? Do I order a test? Do I drive? I don't know. You don't know where to start. But now you only have one thing to remember, and that is to call the concierge team, tell them what's going on, and they will help you figure it out and make the next right step. I love this service. And this service reminds me a little bit of how eXp agents seem to deliver service to your customers, because you do more than just help them with their transactions or finding a house. They come to you and say, which schools are the best? How do I find a home warranty company? What do I do about insurance for my house, for my car? You're a wealth of information that you make available you go above and beyond for your clients. And that's what we're doing here with health insurance. So really excited about that. And the third and final thing is, all of this is so compelling that we have found out by accident that this is a major attraction strategy that agents have been using and influencers have been using to start conversations, to get a conversation going with agents who maybe you've never talked to before, or maybe you have, and they're kind of like, I don't want to really hear about the eXp model. Maybe they've got eXp model fatigue and you need another door, another entry. This gives you another way into that conversation. And what we know is that, here's some numbers to share with you. The takeaway on this slide is medical stuff is expensive and it can really cost you a lot, and you're on the hook to pay it. So it's really good to have a plan, kind of the net message there. I I did want to share with you before I go into how we work the agent attraction strategy for you. I want to back it up a little bit and say, here's the value that we see a lot of agents enjoying when they enroll in one of the Clearwater plans. We've actually saved people money, even if they are on an exchange plan. An example I have is of a Colorado couple. They had some healthcare things ongoing, so they weren't a good fit for the Clearwater plan. They were on a plan on the healthcare exchange in Colorado, which has its own world. And they didn't like it because it was expensive and they had to go right past doctors and hospitals to another town to get to their doctors and hospitals in network, 45 minutes. And so they hated that. And our team, we had a team of consultants. One of them jumped in and said, let me help you find the right one. And they spent some time going through the different plans that are available in the Colorado Exchange, came up with one that gives them access to those doctors that are right nearby in the hospital, and lowered their payment even by $700. So they are saving $700 a month by going from one plan on the exchange to another that's just a better fit. That is just the way health insurance can be. So we'll help you with all of those scenarios. And then, this upgraded network is big news. It's very exciting. And we are super, super proud that we can bring this. So how has it become an attraction strategy?
Margot, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but there's a question about the big announcements, and is that extra?
Right, great question, Audrey. No, it is not extra. Really great, really good. That's part of okay, we're used to, all right, so it's going to be more, right? You're going to do more for me, it's going to cost me more. We're just used to it. It's a good question. No, it is not. So what we know is that agents really struggle with health insurance. This is the second biggest concern they have behind compensation. And in a lot of cases, it is impacting compensation because it's so expensive. And let's see, what is that? Okay, there we go. Some information for you to know, to be able to kind of quantify how big of a deal is this, how concerning is this for people. These numbers will help you see that about a third of people are on a plan on the exchange or an independent individual plan. Those are the most expensive, and they are often not the right fit. About another third are on a plan through their spouse's work or their partner's work. They might have a job they're keeping it just for benefits, and that might or might not be a good plan for them. You never know. And then about another third are uninsured altogether. So we call this self-insured, or really it's the GoFundMe plan. I mean, that's your backup plan if something happens and you need money. And I've seen eXp agents have to do this. I don't want you guys to be one of them. So we know this is a big problem. We know that all of the brokers are trying to do something about it. We know that, well, I already shared with you that 2/3 of bankruptcies are caused by medical bills. And of those, 60% had health insurance. But what you might not know is that more than half of procedures are either unnecessary or out of date. Okay, raise your hand if you want an unnecessary or out of date procedure. Nobody, right? And then 70% of cancer diagnoses are incorrect, or it's the wrong treatment plan. Mine was. Get a second opinion. If you take nothing else away from today, get a second opinion if you have a diagnosis, unless it's emergency. Save your life if it's an emergency. You get a cancer diagnosis, or I know of another example of a healthy 35-year-old who was told he needed to get open heart surgery, got a second opinion, and they said, oh no, you just need to take blood pressure medicine. That's a vastly different outcome. And if you think about it, you don't want to be one of those people having an unnecessary procedure or getting the wrong treatment. So those are key things. What are the rest of the brokers in the nation trying to do? Well, they know this is a problem. They know this is the number 2 issue behind compensation. And so they're trying to figure it out, but it's really hard. And so this is just a slide to show you that basically nobody's figured it out. And you have a very competitive advantage with eXp that none of the other major brokerages have. Not Keller Williams, not Compass, not Century 21, not Remax, not Coldwell Banker, not Berkshire Hathaway. You have a strong competitive advantage, and we have an exclusivity agreement with eXp. So we're not talking to those people. So that's really important for you to know, to be able to quantify how big of an opportunity is this for you. So this is another arrow in your quiver to help change lives, to help people keep more of the money they make, to get better care. You don't know whose life you're going to save with the right plan. It's available in all 50 states. Pardon me. And if you talk to people who have a US address and they go back and forth to another country, or even Puerto Rico, I don't know how to describe Puerto Rico because it's a territory, but it is something that is available as well. Now, it's not available in any other countries if that's where people live, but it is something that I'll give you a scenario that came up earlier this morning. There's a Canadian influencer who's got a team and he's got assistants who are in the US. Because he's an eXp agent, he is the anchoring qualifying agent for access to the plan, so he can make the eXp agent healthcare plan available to her. It's not available to him because he's in Canada, and she's a W-2, so he can choose whether he wants to help pay for it or not. So it's pretty creative. If you have a team and or you're looking to build a team and you're thinking, I need some part-time or full-time people, is this something I can offer to them? Yes, it is, if they're in the US. So pretty awesome. So Melanie, yeah, eXp does truly care. It's not lip service. They truly do. And why? Because they know, I mean, what's the one thing Glenn Sanford always says? The most important metric that he looks at is net promoter score. How happy are the agents? Because that is the temperature of how well the business is going to do. I just love it. All right. So this affects compensation. It affects your stress. It affects your ability to work or your ability to enjoy life. So what I want to share with you right now, right here, is the one question that you can use to open the conversation. Are you guys ready? You might want to write it down. This is a question you can ask on the phone, in text, in person, on your social media pages, anywhere. If there was a way you could save hundreds or thousands of dollars on healthcare and get better care, would you want to learn more? It's so simple. And what you'll find out is if they respond to that, then they do care. And you know this is important to them. And if they don't, then you know that's not the thing to talk to them about. But what we've seen is influencers using this to open doors and conversations that were never, they weren't having before. And using this on just their Facebook page or their Twitter feed. Or I've seen there is an agent in Arkansas, Zachary Jones, who's gotten he's done a lot on TikTok, and he does this on TikTok. And I've met 2 agents he attracted at the build that he attracted that way. So it is happening. And we did not know that these healthcare plans were going to be so compelling that they would be part of an attraction strategy. But when we noticed that, we decided, yes, we're going to make sure that we provide eXp agents with the content, the collateral, and the tools you need to use this as an effective strategy. I'm going to pause right there and see if anybody has any questions, comments. Does this feel like it would be helpful to you all?
Without a doubt, this is game changing. Also, guys, look inside the chat box. Take a picture of this. Also tag Margo on it too, and have a poll saying yes or learn more in your stories. It's a great way to get more people to vote in your stories and say, yeah, I want to learn more about this now. You know, hot prospects, and let Margo be tagged on that because she help you too, and she also an amazing person. So make sure you show her what she's doing too.
See, that's the social media pros for you. They take a great idea and they just magnify it. That's awesome, Jordan. Of course, you have ideas to add to that to make it even more powerful. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Anybody else have questions or comments? Okay, well, feel free to chime in. Pardon me. And I want to hit a couple other highlights. I want to show you what else we've got available for you. And that is that in the attraction toolkit that we have available. Oh, I haven't shared that link with you. Let me do that. The link is, it is to a Google Drive where we just continue to add all these different pieces of collateral and tools for you. You guys let me know if that link works. I think it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But there's videos, there's video testimonials. Melanie's is going to be in there very soon. There's social media posts that you can just use. There's campaigns you can use. There's flyers, PDFs, slides. We have webinars available. So leverage us. You've got a tool that no other nationwide real estate brokerage has. You may as well use it. Let's see. So these are a couple of videos. I don't know if they'll play. Will they play? It looks like not. Okay. Oh, maybe it will.
First and foremost, the savings blew my mind. I've had a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan for quite a few number of years. I have a family of 5 kids, me and my wife. Our premium for my family was going to about $1,500 a month, and our family deductible was going to right around the $19,000 deductible range for the family. That was high. I had heard that eXp had started a healthcare plan, so I wound up getting an appointment set up with an advisor. We talked to Thad Puckett, and Thad sat down and did a great job of talking to us first about what our needs were as a family for healthcare. So that's when I realized, wow, there's some real customization. We're not just one size fits all. He came back with a quote, and I got to tell you about fell out of my chair, because literally for a very comparable plan to what we had at Blue Cross, our premium was going to be $740 a month, and our family deductible went down to $6,000. I was like, done. Where do we sign up? The thing I noticed about Thad, what I really enjoyed about him, was how he just was so patient. It's been awesome. I don't know how to sum it up better than that. I just felt like he was somebody that really cared about what our situation was and tried to help us get the best plan possible. And I think he's done that. I'll tell you, the thing that really has also shocked me was the whole Zion plan. If I was at Blue Cross and I had a 2-year or 3-year medical event, well, I'm going to pay $6,500 per year for that event. So if it's a 3-year event, I'm basically spending almost $20,000 in deductible. Or on the Zion plan, I pay $1,000 up front, and it covers me for the life of that event. This is just like the icing on the cake. It's the best package you've ever seen in your entire history of real estate.
So it feels pretty good to be able to offer the best package of healthcare ever seen in real estate. And now you guys know that that's what you've got on your side and in your arsenal of tools to help go build your business. Is there anything else I can answer for you guys before I turn it back over to Jordan and Melanie? I have enjoyed spending time with you, and yes, some good questions too. These are just images of social media posts, and then here's the there is a healthcare group, a healthcare agent healthcare group on Workplace, and you should join that just because that's a good place to hear about the latest. So let me drop that link in there, and I think that will conclude all of the links I want to share with you. There we go. Questions, comments, answers? Yay.
I definitely loved it. You can tell Mel and I are super grateful for what you're doing, also the healthcare design and the EXP's offering us. I think it is life-changing.
Very cool.
I wanted to find out, I did a overview this year, and I didn't find that it fit my needs at the time, but are the prices going to change in 2022? Or are they going to be similar plans, or?
No, there's no plans for the price to change for the rates. I mean, it is price. The bands are the pricing is by age bands. So 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and so on. So if you move bands, then it changes a bit, but otherwise, no.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think definitely the new network is definitely a game changer, though. Even if
I know it really is. It really is. I don't know of anyone else that's offering anything like that. They've been working on it for a year to be able to bring this to you guys. Melanie says she will never shut up about this healthcare, but you're shutting up right now because if you don't, you get a bunch of feedback because you and Jordan are in the same room. I know. I love Melody, you just beat my door down. You're like, you're doing an interview with me right now. We have to. Because once you experience this sort of service being there for you and changing your life, you can't keep it to yourself. You cannot. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing every day with eXp, going out and sharing this amazing story that of how this company and the opportunity is benefiting your lives and how it's open to anyone. You don't have to be from a certain family, a certain part of town, a certain economic bracket, nothing. You know, the opportunity is equal and available to people. It's the same thing with the healthcare. So thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm happy to come back anytime. There's other things we're working on that I can't tell you about right now, but I will let you know when those are sealed, and we'll come back and talk again.
Can't wait, Margo. Thank you again so much for this valuable information, for being here with us, and sharing your expertise.
Love it.
You are the
Love it.
best.
Let me know how else I can help. You guys take care.
Will
Thank
do.
you, Margo. Thanks. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Margo.
What's
Thank you.
going on? Well, so what we all think?
I think this is right on time because like I need to figure out my health insurance thing. I hate the plan that I'm currently on. Like I went to the dentist not too long ago and I was just going in for, you know, a yearly checkup and a light cleaning, and I had to pay out of pocket. And then the insurance company also, you know, charged me on the back end, and I was just like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm really glad to be exploring these options, and I'm just hoping that it's a little more affordable than what I'm on, because that'll just make my day.
I know Mel and I said like $400 a month when we switched over for both of us on one plan. So I bet you'll save some money. On average, as you probably heard me say before, you save around $8,000 a year, $16K out of pocket. We save $50K, but on average, about $16K out of pocket. Again, I know too much about this healthcare, but I think it is definitely game changing to opt into, and also dental and vision is a pretty cool feature to have too.
And I thought it was super cool that, you know, as you start forming a team, you can offer health insurance to people that you hire. That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely big too. We have big plans for having a huge team, so it's gonna be super helpful. And yeah, I think if you guys want to, definitely go talk to them, get a free quote and see what they say to you. Doesn't hurt to find out. And for agent attraction, make sure you share that picture to your story, ask people yes or no, or yes and or tell me more as a poll. That way you get more people joining you. People who are on our team, the Royal Circle, will opt in, and that way my stories. I use stories all the time to attract people to our team. Any other questions or comments you want to do? All right. Just so you guys know, every single Thursday moving forward, we're having a eXp Explain at 6 p.m. Central Time. And those of you who are in Austin, Texas, every single Friday, 1:30 until 4 o'clock is an in-person eXp Explain with free drinks and food. So definitely, guys, hop in for that. If you want to travel to Austin, do that too. But definitely bring guests to your Thursday night calls with us. Help build your team, have financial freedom faster than ever before. Even 1, 2, 3, even 10 agents could change your life. So you don't need to have a huge impact from day one to start seeing massive differences from it. All right. Then you guys are kings and queens. Abundance to your birthright. Thank you all so much for being here. Have the best day yet. I hope everything you want happens to you this week and so much more.
Thanks.